It's November 22nd, 1963. You're standing in Dealey Plaza, Dallas. The sun is shining, a light breeze carries the sound of laughter and excitement. Crowds line the sidewalks. Children on shoulders, American flags fluttering in their hands. The president's motorcade glides into view. The limousine turns onto Elm Street. And a moment later, three shots crack through the air. Screams, chaos. People run, some fall. And in the space of seconds, history is written in blood. President John F. Kennedy is now dead. But what if this didn't have to be?
Wow, that was dramatic. But not half as dramatic as today's book is going to be. So, without further ado, let's dive into today's new book 11/22/63 by Stephen King. Hi. So, a quick little intro before we dive into everything books. I'm Asavri and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is episode 5 of the book review series, a series that I have been doing on my channel regularly and consistently now. And I'm so excited that you're watching this. So, let's get into it. Also, two side notes. First, the voiceover that you heard in the intro part was of my best friend Ninad, and shout out to him for helping me with the intro. The second is this is a disclaimer, this video is going to be slightly long because, guys, I made notes, so it's serious this time. So what exactly is this book 11/22/63? So this is not just a random number, it's actually a date which is 22nd November 1963. This is the cover of the book. I actually do have a hard copy which, as you can see, is pretty fat. It's like 700 pages long, and so it did take me a while to read, I'm not gonna lie, but it was totally worth it. So, to give you a background about this book, it is a story about a character called Jake Epping, who is a high school teacher. Now, this guy Jake has a friend called Al who discovers a wormhole. Now, Al tries to go through this wormhole only to find himself all the way back in time, all the way 48 years back in time in 1958. Now, Al has this crazy idea and he tells Jake that, Jake, what if you go down there and change history? What if you stop the assassination of John F. Kennedy? Now, for those who don't know who John F. Kennedy was, he was one of the most famous and the most successful presidents of the United States of America. And his assassination is one of the most talked about event in the history of the world. Now, coming to the book. Point number 1. The concept of time travel is very unique. Now, when you talk about time travel in general, as depicted in movies or books, a lot of focus is on the technology that facilitates time travel or the research that goes behind it, which is humongous and that consumes majority portion of that directive, right? But in this book, time travel is just factual. Like the author says that there is a wormhole, that guy goes into that wormhole and he's transported back to 1958, and that's the end of the story. How it happens, why it happens, nobody knows. And that kind of makes the story much more whole, because then you get a lot more focus on the characters and the story itself rather than that particular phenomena. Now that brings us to point number 2. While I did say that this book does not talk about the whys or the hows of time travel, it does talk about the repercussions of changing the past. Now, throughout events in this book, the author kind of burns it in your head that the past is obdurate, meaning the past does not want to be changed. And if you go against all odds and try to change the past, then it will fight back. The butterfly effect would multiply like a billion times and it will be insane. That brings us to point number 3. Point number 3 is that this book is so close to reality. King has done an immense amount of research into writing this book. He has read all sorts of conspiracy theories, articles around the assassination of John F. Kennedy, and has curated this bubble or curated this story around the exact locations of people involved in this whole shebang. The assassin himself, Lee Oswald, and how his life was before and briefly after the assassination has been written in such vivid detail that you are transported right back to that era. Lee Oswald used to live in Russia, and then he came to the United States of America, where he allegedly also tried to assassinate General Walker. It is as if you are living right next to Lee Oswald, and it is absolutely harrowing to think, to read the thought process of an assassin, the thoughts that might have gone through his head before he came up when he came up with a plan to assassinate the president of the superpower of the world, the United States of America. And that's huge. Point number 4, and this point is particularly close to my heart because it is very different from the rest of the premise of the book. Now, this guy, Jake Epping, who lives in 2011, goes all the way back to 1960s and starts a life there. But what if he gets so involved in his new life that he falls in love? And Jake Epping does exactly that. He falls in love with a high school librarian called Sadie Dunhill. And oh my god, guys, this is coming from a person who does not like romance in general, who does not enjoy reading love stories in general. The love story that is in this book is absolutely beautiful. It is one of the most wholesome and the most cutest stories I have ever read, and I picked up this book because I wanted to start something techy and something fun and interesting, but I ended up staying for the love story. It's almost as if it does not matter if you like the rest of the book or not, you will be staying for the love story of Jake Epping and Sadie Dunhill. Take my word for it, you will definitely fall in love with love. Also, side note, I'm not one of the people who cries at fictional stuff, be it movies or be it books. So, this book was very special because it did make me well up a little bit. It was that beautiful, and take my word for it, guys, the love story is just chef's kiss. Okay, last pro point. Now, this was not a pro for me, but I thought that I would mention it. If you're into like political stuff and if you like reading about geopolitics and history in general, then I think this book would be a good fit for you because a lot of it talks about the mindset of people back in 1960s and how the political stands were back then. So I think that would make a good book for people who like reading such stuff. Enough said about the pros of the book, let's jump to the cons. Now, the major con of the book was that the middle 200 to 250 ish pages were very slow and very boring for me. Like, I get that the whole purpose of this guy going into the past was to change history, and to do that, he needed to get as much information as possible. So, he tries to get close to the assassin to live right next to him. And for that, he negotiates with a lot of people. A lot of characters are involved in that frame of time, and it gets very difficult to keep track of so many characters, so that made the pace of the book thoda sa slow in this part. That was the major con. Okay, so the second one was that the whole book is set in 1960s America. So being a non-American, it does get a little bit difficult to relate to a lot of stuff because the way people talk back in 1960s America is very different than they do now. Okay, so the third point. Oh yeah, this is good. So I have literally written here, had me googling stuff, and I'm not gonna lie. I don't know much about American history. There were a lot of times in the book where I was googling stuff like who was Lee Oswald, or Lee Oswald photos, the street photos or the house photos, or what does this term mean, who was General Edwin Walker, stuff like that. So that is not exactly a con. That really helped me understand the story as it unfolded. So that was kind of a good thing for me. Okay, so that was the end of the cons list. As I said, not too many and not too many significant ones. If I had one word to describe this book, it would be magnificent. And for those who are saying that Stephen King did not stick the ending with this one, what do you mean by that? I mean, I thought the ending was perfect. It was wrapped up nicely in a bow, and it literally was the ultimate conclusion to the book, and I absolutely adored the ending. Honestly, when I finished reading this book, I was just left wanting for more. And to be able to elicit feelings like this in readers is a big win for authors. Um, this book is definitely going to stay with me for a long, long period of time. And when I do forget this book enough, I will definitely give it a reread. Also, a note for the afterword of the book, it is actually very, very interesting to read. So if you finished reading this book, do give the afterword a read as well. That was all the points that I had about this book, and as you can tell, I absolutely enjoyed this book a lot. And if I had to give it a rating, it would be a very high one. It would honestly be around 4.3 ish. And yeah, I would definitely recommend it to everyone, especially to readers who are, open to branching out more, or if you have already read books for a long period of time and you want to delve into something mature. I think this is a perfect book to start with. So yeah, I would recommend this to mature readers. And yeah, of course, if you're new, even then you can start this book, and obviously tell me if you like it. Comment down below. Bye bye.